It's been a while since we had a good old-fashioned article response, so today we're taking a look at a flaming trash heap called MakeUseOf.com, an alleged tech website that puts out amazing articles like how to enable or disable Cortana, how to view saved Wi-Fi passwords on Android, how to customize Windows lock screen, and other amazingly helpful articles about things that literally everyone already knows how to do. But today we're going to focus on this gem, titled 7 Reasons Why Console Gaming is Better Than PC Gaming. It always grinds my gears when self-proclaimed tech sites put out articles like this because not only should you know better, but also people who don't know any better are going to stumble upon this, assume you know what you're talking about, and end up buying something that they didn't actually want. That is why I go so hard on articles like this. Also, this one's just really bad. I'll skip the intro because it's short and dumb and there's a lot more to talk about, so reason 1. Console games just work. Do I even have to explain this one? Granted, the article was published in December of 2018, but A, they haven't taken it down or edited it, so I'm going to assume they stand by it, and B, this wasn't even true in 2018. You know what high-profile games came out in 2018? Black Ops 4, Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, Madden 19, all of which had major technical issues on console, and things have only gotten worse since then. With console gaming, there's essentially no installation process. It's literally not true. You simply insert the disc or download the game, and in a couple of minutes, you're all set. There are no pesky drivers to worry about, nor will you have to download a separate proprietary installation tool for a particular game. Sure, you may have to download updates if there are any, but this is a simple process. In addition, on a PC, you might also have to make a few adjustments specific to your machine's specifications, like the game's graphics settings in order to avoid frame rate drops. The bottom line is that on console, you won't have to face the majority of the common nuances of configuring a new game on PC. It just works. Wow, so you are just lying right off the bat. Nice. You just said console games don't have an installation process, which is blatantly false. I also love this contradiction here. There's essentially no installation process, but you still have to wait after you put the disc in. If there's no installation process, what are you waiting for after you put the disc in? Again, this article is from late 2018, more than 5 years after the Xbone and PS4 came out, 2 consoles that required extensive installation for physical games. So you're just flat out lying here. You also say downloading updates on console is simpler than it is on PC, which just doesn't make sense. One of them is a progress bar that you wait for, and the other one is a progress bar that you wait for. But tell me more about how one of them just works. Number 2, you don't need to check the specs. Another burden you can avoid by opting for a console is hardware specifications. There are thousands of options you'll have to go through to find the right PC that suits your needs. You have to ensure the mouse is comfortable and the graphics card can handle the games you want to play, and check how high is the display refresh rate, and more besides. I don't feel like that's a sentence. And you don't have to worry about tips and tweaks to optimize your PC for gaming. With consoles, you only have to worry about your budget and desire to play 4K games. In addition, unlike PCs, consoles continue to perform smoothly and run the latest games even a couple of years after use. No, they fucking don't. PC rigs generally wear out quicker. No, they fucking don't. And you'll be forced to upgrade 2 or 3 years down the line, especially if you want to try out the most recent games. First of all, did you just call a mouse a spec? You said you don't have to check the specs of a game, and then you talked about the fucking mouse. Also, you can use a mouse and keyboard on console, so what's the fucking point? Second of all, I love the shilling here. You don't have to worry about tips and tweaks to optimize your PC, but also if you want that, we have an article for that. This thing is bad, and you shouldn't do it. But if you are doing it, here's a place you can look and give us ad revenue. We are MakeUseOf.com and have no integrity. But anyways, back to everything wrong with this fucking section. Consoles do not run games across the board at a smooth or consistent 4K. In fact, at the time this article was written, you were lucky to get locked 4K. And in a lot of ways, you still are lucky to get that. Also, this Git just said PC hardware wears out faster than consoles, which is objectively false. The 8th generation of consoles were famously underpowered and could barely run good-looking games in the last couple years of their lives. Meanwhile, I was running a GTX 1070, a card from 2016, up until last year. And I only upgraded it because I got a good deal on a 2070. It wasn't even out of necessity. Hardware doesn't deteriorate, games just get more advanced. And how well your older hardware can run new games is dependent on how well the game is optimized, and how much your hardware is capable of. PC hardware is plain and simple more future-proof, which is why there are still people running the 10 and 20 series despite the 30 series being the most recent. But according to you, PC hardware only lasts 2 to 3 years, which is painfully ironic coming from a console player who's forced to stick with the same hardware for like 8 years at a time. No, you are not choosing to stick with it. You simply don't have an option. And what does any of this have to do with you not needing to check specs? The title of this section was You Don't Have to Check Specs, but you didn't actually talk about that. Well, you did, you just did it wrong. Also, fun fact, 99% of the time the fucking refresh rate is not tied to the game. Number 3, there are more AAA games to choose from. Literally not true. Almost every AAA game is on the PC now, and for every AAA console exclusive, there is another AAA PC exclusive to keep the count even. How soon we forget games like World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Dota, Valorant, etc. With studios such as Sony and Microsoft backing them, consoles have benefited from a wide collection of AAA games. Just look at the best PS4 exclusives for proof. Obligatory shilling for PS4 exclusives in a console article. For instance, some of the most highly rated titles, such as The Last of Us, the Uncharted series, God of War 2018, and Red Dead Redemption 2, are not even available on PC.
That one didn't age quite so well.
On the contrary, most popular PC games will be ported to consoles. Well, 3 of those 4 games are on PC. Also, you say that console has exclusives, but PC games get ported to console, you're somehow missing the laundry list of console games that get ported to PC, not even including the ones that you listed without realizing it. Like, are you the editor's son or something? This has to be nepotism, you're not a journalist. Number 4, console gaming is generally cheaper. Console gaming is more affordable than PC gaming, no it's fucking not. You can buy one for as little as $250 and still play each and every game available at 1080p, no you fucking can't. The package will even include the controller, 1 or 2 games, and possibly more. New gaming PCs, however, start at about $700, and that will only enable you to play the mid-tier games? Where are you getting this info from? A $250 console would be the base Xbox One or PS4, neither of which ran games at 1080p across the board. In fact, both of them were almost embarrassingly inconsistent when it comes to resolution. And that's not even mentioning how garbage the frame rate was. And where are you getting the controller and game stuff from? Like, yeah, sure, sometimes there will be someone selling a used console with a game or a couple controllers, but it's not a guarantee. And the last sentence here just pisses me off. A $700 PC will only let you play mid-tier games? No, a $700 PC will play every PC game. You just won't be getting the best of the best visuals on everything. Do you think a mid-tier PC can only run mid-tier games? Like, every PC can play every PC game, just at varying levels of fidelity. You quite literally don't know what you're talking about. You genuinely should not have the job here. Plus, you'll be spending hundreds of dollars extra for other accessories like the keyboard and mouse. In addition, on consoles, you can share game discs with your friends and split the cost. On PCs, licenses are locked to a specific account and are non-transferable. First of all, accessories and peripherals are on net cheaper on the PC because there's more developers and it's a more open marketplace. Second of all, virtually every accessory and peripheral for the console is compatible with the PC. So even if the console shit was cheaper, you could just buy it for the PC and save the money anyways. That's not how the world actually works, but I'm just highlighting that even in your hypothetical scenario, you're still wrong about this. Find a new profession. Number 5, you can play console games from your sofa. Since consoles are compatible with televisions, you can operate and play games on them from the comfort of your sofa. Their controllers are also designed in a way that you won't have to fiddle around to find the right spot. PCs, in addition to being incompatible with television displays, are not suited for non-desk setups, and you will end up spending most of your time trying to make it work somehow. Make the sensible choice and play a console from the comfort of your sofa. You actually just said PCs aren't compatible with televisions. You actually just said that. Newsflash, your PC has an HDMI port. The exact same thing you plug your console into when you're putting it in your TV. It quite literally is the same thing as your console. If you want to play PC games from your couch, you plug your PC into your television. That's it. It's not hard. One option you might look into is the SNES Classic Mini because you can play PS1 and 64 and similar games on it. Or you could just emulate for free with better performance on almost any computer that exists. Number 6, it's easier to play with friends. Can't wait for the justification on this one. The most popular gaming platform in the world apparently isn't good for multiplayer, which, alright, news to me. PCs also fall short in scenarios like parties or when your friends come over to hang out. Your desk probably doesn't have the space for more than one keyboard and mouse, your laptop might not have enough ports, and more issues plague a PC's ability to handle local multiplayer. Just keep going with hypotheticals. There's more issues. Don't worry, there's more issues, I promise. On a console, you can simply plug more consoles in to play with your friends. Please get fired. In addition, consoles have slots for USBs too, so if you have a keyboard lying around, you can plug that in as well. What's more, the aforementioned 5th argument supplements this advantage even further. If your monitor is a little small, or there's not room for more than 2 or 3 people in your study, you can quickly move to the living room where there is a larger television and more seating available. There are so many theoreticals here, and some of them just don't work. You can use controllers on PC, so you don't need multiple keyboards and mice to play local multiplayer. Then you bring up the fact that consoles have USB drives, so you could plug in a keyboard, but we're completely glossing over the fact that PCs have more USB drives, so So why can't you just put a controller in there? This argument negates itself when you turn it around, not that this guy would notice. I've played local multiplayer with multiple controllers in my PC many times. It's not hard. And number 7, controllers are better than keyboard and mouse. Just use a fucking controller on your fucking PC if it's that fucking important to you. Seriously, whose dick are you sucking to keep this job? Controller preferences are certainly a subjective topic, and some gamers swear by arcade sticks, but if you're new and still exploring video games, the controller is the way to go. It's built with a design that more naturally sits in your hands, unlike the keyboard and mouse combo, which has a steeper learning curve, because apparently learning curves are a bad thing. With a controller, the fingers you are not using can easily rest on the rear triggers, and can come into play as soon as you want them. In addition, apart from FPS, first-person shooters, and RTS, real-time strategy games, the joysticks are a more ergonomic fit for most titles. PlayStation 4's controller also has a touchpad so that you can navigate around the interface easily. Okay, but when's the last time you played a game and thought to yourself, wow, I'm so glad my controller has a tiny touchpad on it? Like genuinely, when's the last time a PS4 controller's touchpad enhanced your experience? Also, for the millionth time on this channel, if you want to use a controller on PC, just do it. Almost every controller to ever exist is compatible with PC hardware. And then we have all the third-party USB and Bluetooth controllers that consoles don't even have access to. The article has a little outro after this, but it's basically just a recap and a big advertisement for other articles on this dog shit website, and I'm just getting kind of tired, so I'm gonna leave it here. Before this, I had never heard of MakeUseOf.com, but thanks to this article, I'm gonna start keeping an eye on them. Because if this is the caliber of writer they employ, this may actually be the worst site I've found in a while. Toodles.